Hi guys, this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Welcome to my channel. So today's video is a recreation for another workshop that I just taught at the Stampaway last week. So if you haven't got the chance to check it out, I already upload the first two workshop. This is one of the sample card that we create. Okay. Like this, pretty unique. And then another workshop, it was this one. Okay, so and then today we're going to working for the number third workshop is called the Stamp and Create. So that was a 2 hours workshop at the Stampaway. So if you are new to this channel, welcome in. If you are in the area, next year we will be back to the Stampaway show. So this video is just give you idea how the workshop work. If you're interested for our online workshop, is also the same. You will get your kit, the paper kit, and your stamp set. The only difference is 50% of the shipping cost will add on your kit. I will cover the 50% and you will pay the 50%. That's the only difference between the in-person workshop and online workshop. So if you are interested to join us online, make sure you sign out the YouTube channel or go to the localkingrubberstamp.com, sign out our newsletters, so that way you will receive a notification when the online workshop is available. Okay, so I have two primary tools that I use for my workshop. One is our marker set. Those markers is awesome markers, and they are 24 colors. They will last for a long time. They are good for color on the rubber stamp directly, and they are also, it's good to do a slight light watercoloring. But if you have any water-based marker, they will do the same. The same thing. I use markers often for my workshop. The other thing is the set of a blending tool. So this is our magic mushroom. I think they are the best blending tool that you can find on the market. But the question is, you got to know how to use them. So I often use this blending mushroom too. So just put on your wishing list, and when you sign up my online workshop or the in-person workshop, I will offer a very good promotion. So I will ship your order together, and so this way you will help me to save the shipping cost, and also you get a very good deal for the workshop special. Okay, so that's to start today's video. And today's video, this workshop, everybody sign out the workshop will get this stamp set and then a paper kit. So this I try to make the workshop as simple as possible, but this workshop is not just a cut and paste and glue. It's really, you got to use your stamp to create something interesting. And I try to provide as much as information I can. And then once, excuse me, and then when I recreate the workshop, it's going to be exactly like this workshop. So you will receive paper. So this is a workshop that we did at the Stampaway. That's going to be the 8 cards. All the material is included, and also if there is no die cut, the digital image will come with it. So for the people who did the workshop at the Stampaway, if you like to receive the digital image, please send me an email and I will send you the folder. If you sign out the online workshop, automatically you will receive the digital image. So the AI and the digital has been taken a big part of crafting work, and then I am trying to combine those traditional card making with rubber stamp with digital together. So in my next coming few videos, I will explain more, and I will actually share with you guys how to use the digital with your old rubber stamp or clear stamp or anything else. So when I design the stamps, I don't just try to sell the stamp to you and we never use it again. I often combine the old stamp and new stamp together. For example, this set, I create a card, right? And then I also, in your kit, you will receive another printout. I use the same stamps and create another set by using the same stamp, but they looks completely, totally different, right? That's the fun part of stamping. I create the tools and then you use the tool to create your own art. So everybody's cards is going to look so unique. So during the workshop, I'm just share with you the basic idea, but the ones when you get the hands-on and know what are you doing, you can just go wild, do whatever you like. Okay, so the first card, we are going to do the panda card, and I'm going to just find my panda cards here. So that will be this one. Okay, so we will stamp, and then you can see in your card kit we already have a panda and the bamboo. So we are going to make this card 3D, and we will use the panda stamp and the bamboo stamp. So when I prepare my workshop kit, usually it's like 100 kits I have to prepare. So I usually use the laser printer to die cut the image that I need for the workshop. So when you purchase this workshop, it comes with a digital image, and then I will create another video to share with you guys how to download. I already did, but it's a different pattern. So I will recreate the video to share with you guys how to download this workshop image, and then how to use your digital die cut machine like a quick cut to cut it. At this moment, I am very comfortable to use a quick cut machine. For the broader scan and cut, I found out it's a little bit complicated for my viewers. So if you want to be able to print and cut, you have to purchase something else different. So at this moment, I'm just focused on the quick cut digital die cut machine. Okay, I think if you want to purchase one, I will highly recommend the quick cut die cut machine. And then don't get expensive one. My machine is just Air 2, is the cheapest model, and then it will do the job, and it is good enough for you to do some digital cutting. I know a lot of you guys, we don't want to touch the digital, but come on, the AI is a part of our life now, and once when you learn the basic, you are going to love it, because it can do a lot of things. And then don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to give up the stamping, the traditional crafting technique. I'm just asking, give a try to combine the digital and the original rubber stamping, and I promise I will share with you all the basic information, and I'm going to explain step by step. If you go to Local King Rubber Stamps YouTube channel, you can find that I already started, and then I'm hoping that will be very useful. If you have any question or anything you'd like to learn, please leave me a comment or send me an email. I will definitely mention in my next video. Okay, so the first card, we're going to work on the panda card, and then I have these matte coat cardstock, and I have my panda, and I have my bamboos ready. So I'm going to, you can use a brown or you can use a black to stamp your panda stamp. So I'm going to just use this Versifying Clara, and then I found out this is a very good quality impact, and then my stamp is a pretty detailed, so I found out this impact just give the best of the stamping. So I'm going to just give a nice firm press, and then that's the panda. Isn't that cute? And then I am going to stamping my bamboo. So you can use impact or you can use markers. I'm going to just use 2 green impact. I'm going to start with one light, and I'm going to do a little bit darker green. And then in my last video, I was using, so before I stamp, I want to show you, on the stamp I have a light green and I have a dark green, right? And then the two colors kind of jump too fast, so I'm actually using one of a magic marshal, kind of softening that line, and then I use a little bit green, try to apply the color directly on my bamboo stamp. So now I'm going to just stamping my bamboo. Okay, so now we have okay, I'm going to grab my impact. So now I have my bamboo here and I have my panda here, right? So we can just use the magic marshal. Going to just use a brown and then get a little bit brown color. So the magic mushroom, before you use it, you got to make sure they are moisture. If you are not sure how to make your the preparation for the magic mushroom, please watch the blending workshop. I will put a link below. So that way, in that workshop, it was talking about the blending. So that workshop will give you the idea how to taking care of it, how to prepare your magic mushroom. So panda is black and white. I'm just holding my die cut, and then I'm going to just use this magic mushroom. Just gently brush a little bit color around the edge. Not too much. Just like this. Okay, and then if you want to, let me see if I can find a small, if you want to, you can use these, oopsie, this has become harder. This one is garbage. The quality, those dollar store eyeshadow applicator, the quality is just for 1 or 2 time use, and then that's it. Okay, and then we are going to use a very, very light color. I use this angel pink. This is angel pink. This is wrong cover. Wrong cover. Let me find my angel pink. Angel pink. Just a pink impact. I can't find the angel pink. I'm going to just use this one. Baby pink. Okay, so I'm going to just use this applicator, pick up some color, okay, before apply on your car, kind of just testing a little bit. We just want a very, very soft color. Just put a little bit on top of the nose. You always start with a little bit. If it's not enough, we come back to add more. We don't want to put too much. You make it look like the panda is catch cold, right? Okay, so that's my panda. Okay, and for the bamboo, you can use the magic mushroom. Okay, the same 2 color. Okay, kind of just brush the color on top. Or we can use the markers. Or you can use both. So I'm just brush a little bit light green. And then a little bit darker green. I think that's pretty good already, but if you want to use your markers, you can actually use markers directly color on your rubber stamp, and then you can use the markers color on the die cut. Okay, so I'm going to just use the markers, kind of fill the gap. Okay, so if you later on, if you stamp this image, make sure you use a water resist black ink. Okay, because the markers is water-based markers. If you use water-based black ink, when you add the color, they will run. So, or what you can do is you can get one acrylic block, put your marker on top of the acrylic block, and then use a fine brush, pick up the color, and then color your image or the die cut any way you like. Okay, so now I finished coloring. I'm going to put my markers away. put my mushroom back to the holding base, and then I am going to just mount my panda and the bamboo. So let's do that. Okay. So that's my panda. And then this particular workshop kit, I have a few of the animal, and then I all have a sentiment on the part of the body. So if you don't want these old shoes, they are so cute. When you ink your stamp, just wipe off that sentiment. And then, so maybe some other card, you don't want this cute stuff. So that's another option. You can just remove it. Okay, so I'm going to put my foam tape. Okay, I'm going to just put a little bit off. That's the first card. Simple, easy, and then I think it look and it's 3D. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Okay, so before we move on to the next, I just want to give you some idea what I have been working on. So I have been working on some digital image. Is all different kind of shape. So with this image, this digital image, you can use the same stamp kind of decorate the card. The best part of this image is you can flatten it, and then you can mail it. They are under, I think it will totally fit 5.7 envelope. And then here is another one. So I finished 10 shape already. Each digital image comes with 2 files. One is 2D, one is 3D. So 3D is kind of like a 4 layers, and the 2D is just like a regular card. So instead of just like an A2 rectangular shape, there is too many different options. So this is actually coming video. I already finished one of the video to share how to download it, how to upload it. So stay tuned if you like to learn how to put them together. So like this is a snowball, a bow. We can put a panda there too. You can cut a few of the panda and then do the bamboo jungle and then put the panda on top. So digital image is awesome because once when you learn how to use it, you can make an image bigger, you can make it small, you can reflect the image, you can actually change the shape of the image. I think you just need to learn how to use it. But I know a lot of you guys is just against it. I really hoping you guys give it a try, and then you will love it. Okay, so that's working on the number 2 card. Well, before we do that, let's take a look. So this is panda card, number 1. And then what I did is I just use a die cut to cut a circle, and I use another background called the bamboo palace. And then I just use a panda. I think that's pretty unique, right? See, exactly the same stamp, but you can create something totally different. So now the second card, we're going to working on this big blue boogie bird. I actually saw the bird in the Iceland, but they are not that as blue as they show in the picture. Okay, so this card, the purple card, maybe your cardstock, maybe your kit, the color is a little bit different. So this is one of my stamp. It's called the Words. It's actually number 1 cell background stamp. So when I stamped it, I only ink the middle of the stamp, and then I use the markers to color few section. So that's how I get a multicolor. So we are going to use our markers, okay, and the magic mushroom. So the markers again, and then we are going to use this blue color, and then we're going to just color the feet. Okay, so I'm going to just very easy. So these marker have a big tip. It's good to color directly on the stamp, and then but you can also to use to color directly on the paper too. They are great markers. You can actually blending directly on the stamp too. So that's just the color blue. Okay, and then again, we're going to use a magic mushroom just to give a little bit shading around it. So I'm going to just same thing, holding your die cut vertically, and then just gently brush a little bit color, even on their feet. Give a little bit color. Like this. Okay. Or if you are like a Copic marker lover, you can just color with your markers. Okay, sound fast and easy. Okay, so I just use a gray color the beak a little bit. Okay, so if you want more detail, you can use a paintbrush to add a little bit darker blue, but you can see I just color the blue, but when I blending a little bit orange, they actually blending with that blue, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then I'm going to just mount my basic card first. Okay. Okay, to mountain, make sure don't get upside down image. Okay, and then I am going to use a blue impact. Okay, I am going to put the footprint. Okay, so I just use a regular impact, and this is a regular cardstock, and then this is my footprint, and it's kind of shadow stamp. I think it should be good. If you find that your stamp don't ink well, just use a nail file or eraser or sand block to sanding the surface, so that will definitely help them to ink well. When I ink my shadow stamp, I always just rub, tap, so that way I can get the nice completely full coverage. And I'm going to just stamp one time and then try to rotate my stamp, change the direction, and then stamp 2 times. So that way I have a 2 different kind of shape. Okay, or what you can do is you can just grab another darker impact. Okay. Okay, and then just use this stamp to create some footprint. Sometimes you can wipe off one foot and then to build up the paper, cover your base. Okay, and then that's going to be our second card. So when I'm running a workshop, I really try to offer the best to my customer, to the people who signed out my workshop. This is actually the 3rd workshop, which was on Thursday, and that was a 3 workshop. And I found out it's a little bit too much because it's 8 cards in 2 hours. Some of my customer actually, they are kind of tired. So next year, I will definitely do some adjustment. So I will still offer as many as card I can, because I know once when you purchase this kit, you want to make it more than 2 or 3 or 4 card, right? So what I'm going to do is next year, I will still try to offer 8 card, and then, but maybe we will finish like a 4 during the workshop, and another 4 is kind of like a self-guiding. So you can watch this video and finish another 4 project. Okay, so what do you think? Simple and easy, but I think it's pretty cool, right? And then here is another sample what I create by using the same stamp image. Okay, the back I just using the same technique. I use a stamp. I stamp. This is called the stoning, and I use the magic mushroom kind of remove a little bit ink from the background stamp, and then That's what it look like. In your pouch, you should receive this print too. Okay, so we got a 2. That's working on the third one. The third card, we are going to working on the seal. Okay, so same thing. This is the card kit you get, and this is another card I create. So the background is the wave background, and I found out these magic mushrooms are really awesome because they can gently blending directly on the rubber stamp. I will definitely create some video to share with you guys more idea how to use those wonderful magic mushrooms. Okay, so this card is fast and easy. What we're gonna do is I already prepare this background. This is ice break away, and then I printed with a laser printer. But for you guys, you just use a VersaFine or Memento or any kind of impact. But I found out the VersaFine is the best coverage. So what I do is it's better to use a stamp positioner, you stamp 2 times. So the first time when you cover, gave it the foundation color, and then repeat the second time, you will be able to get exactly the same result like the printer. Okay, so we are going to use one of the blue. So I'm going to use just Bahama blue, and then I'm going to use my magic mushroom to apply, just apply a little bit color. You can do blue, you can use light creamy color, and then watch the last video, the blending workshop, because give you in that workshop I explain 4 or 5 different kind of technique how you start the blending. So this one I'm going to just find a spot and I just draw a little circle, just give it a little bit coloring on top, just to try to add a little bit color. So gently drawing a circle. Even you didn't purchase the workshop, you didn't join us for the workshop, the video is absolutely free to watch. So just to take a look at that video, maybe next time you can join or online workshop, right? So just find a spot, gently just apply a little bit color, just to give it a little bit blue, and that's it. And then for my seal, I am going to use a very light, maybe I'm going to just use a light brown color like a desert sand. This is one of my favorite impact. And then like I say, if you are like a Copic marker, alcohol marker lover, you can just color this image with your marker. So I'm going to just give it a little bit very light brown. Or what you can do is you can grab a piece of acrylic block, and then I have this in the marker set, there is a gray color. So I just use the markers, I just draw a few strokes on my acrylic block. I use my acrylic block as a color, like a mixing platform, and then I'm going to add a little bit darker purple. Okay, and then we are going to use a little paintbrush. Okay, so this marker is okay to do a very light coloring, but you cannot like do like a watercolor with this marker. Okay, so light coloring will totally work. Okay, not like a big, the whole size watercolor. So kind of just give it a little bit seal color. I do a little bit brown, gray, and then I add a little bit purple. So kind of create like a darker gray color. Or if you have a gray impact handy, you can use the magic mushroom, apply some gray color too. Okay, so that's how I call it. When I do the workshop or video, I don't really spend too much time to coloring. Okay, so, but you can do that. Okay, so once when done, going to just clean my acrylic block. Okay, I'm going to find a light, maybe very light pink. Okay, I'm going to use that little eyeshadow applicator. Okay, just put a little bit blush. Ta-da! I think that's very cute. And then I'm going to mount it. So for the background, this ice breakaway, you can use a black ink, but you can also use blue ink. So you can use light blue, dark blue, and blending directly on top. There's too many other ways to use these stamps. Okay, and maybe I will working on another video to use the same stamp and create something different. Okay, so that's do. So any place you like, I'm gonna put here, and then we are going to put the sentiment. Okay, if you pay a little bit attention to my rubber stamp image, I like chubby stuff. So usually my animal is a little bit chubby. Okay, so that's our third card, and then let's take a look. So this one, I use the wave background. This is the iceberg background. Yeah, and then this stamp actually have this seal with a kiss. So like the panda stamp, if you don't want it, you can don't use this part. And then if you want it, I didn't use it because my background is already pretty dark. It doesn't really show if you stamped it. But if your foundation card, basic card is the light color, if you stamp like a sealed with a kiss, it will show. Okay, so that's our third card. Let's move on to our number 4. The number 4, we are going to use our owl stamp. And then we are going to use that little leaf. That little leaf can be very handy. Okay, and then the owl. Okay, so in your pouch, you should have like a 2 or 3 pre-cut. This is this stamp set. Well, I am kind of semi-retired now, so I don't really order the new die cut anymore, but I still have some new design once a while. So, but I know the people still want to cut it, right? So what I'm offering is I have this digital image. So this is, you just upload to your machine, and then you can die cut it. Instead of a stamp and cut, we can do different way. I'm going to explain to you how. So the cardstock I'm using, this is a matte coat cardstock, is better than the regular cardstock. So this is matte coat cardstock. Once when you stamp it, the coating area will absorb all the ink, so make your card looks really good. So if you use a regular cardstock, you are going to use stamp positioner to stamp 2 times. So some of you guys already get an image. I think this image was a PNG file. Once when you upload to your machine, you probably wonder why the image is too big. So what I'm going to do is you are going to just measure even like the high. So this high is around the 2.75, and then when you set on your machine, you just set up like a 275 from the width. From the width, the left to the right, probably like a 3. So when you set up the size, you just set up a 3 width, and then you will be able to get this. So this technique, I need you to prepare 2 acrylic block, perform the size exactly the same. So what you're going to do is, before you do the coloring, you are going to put your card on top. It will line up perfectly. And then you're going to use the stamp position, the reposition glue. Just put enough tape, and then you're going to put another acrylic block on top of this image, and then you're going to, that way will pick up, right? So when we want to stamp, instead of we put our head, try to looking for where we should stay, where we should place this card, you just try to guiding with your acrylic block. Make sure your acrylic block is overlapping with each other, and that way you will be very easy to pick up this ink. Okay, so again, these stamp, if you haven't used a while, they are completely shadow stamp. If you don't know what is a shadow stamp, please watch this video. This video will explain to you what is a shadow stamp. So how come sometimes you buy the marker, you go home, you try the technique, but you don't get the result I'm showing you because the stamp you're using is the wrong stamp. Okay, let me print the little bit like this. So hoping you guys can see better. Okay, so we're going to do the coloring, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like a gray tone. I am going to have a gray color and a black color. But the 2 colors are a bit too boring. I am going to add a little bit brown. I think this 3 color will do the job. So you can do any color you like. And then if you like to learn a little bit more how to color with markers, please watch this video, because in this video I really explain a lot of the basic coloring technique. Okay, so we are going to start with lightest color first. I have a 3 color here. This light gray will be my lightest color. So when I color my stamp, I make sure my stroke is stay under ½ inches. I have some leaves here. We're going to leave the leaf green, so I'm not going to color the leaf. So I'm color 1/3 my owl, or let's do half. Okay, keep your marker on the stamps. Okay, it's very important, the foundation color. Second color, I'm going to add a little bit brown. Okay, the tail. Okay, and then how you guys can see, right? 2 color. And then I'm going to put the eye, a little bit on the beak, actually a little bit on his crown. Often people ask me, where are the eyes? Somewhere. I always tell them, somewhere around there. You don't really have to worry about that. You just give it a little bit. See the way I color? Okay, so just go over. And then now I want to fix it to make my coloring a little bit better. So I use the lightest color, which is the gray. I am blending directly on my stamp. So those markers are blending mixed directly on the stamp. I borrow a little bit black, put a little bit on his ear. Okay, try to make that black not too jump. So you can blending directly on your stamp, and our marker is awesome marker. You can abuse them, they work better and better. Okay, so for my branch, because my owl is kind of like a black brown, so I'm going to put these green, so that way they will pop out better. Okay, this marker is very moisture. When you color, don't keep repeating the same spot, because if you keep repeating on the same spot, those ink will block those outline, and then you will not able to get a nice clean image. So I put a big brown. Okay, I really taken my time. I talk, I'm not hurry. Just want to make sure everywhere is nicely covered. And then the best part is every time when you stamp, you never know what's going to look like. And then remember, I already have my die cut here. I am guiding with my acrylic block, or you can put your head right on top of that. But I think I just going to use my acrylic block as my guiding, and then you can get it pretty much close, maybe 90%. That's what's my image. Okay, and then I'm gonna clean my stamp. Okay, and then before we move on, this is on the reposition tape, right? So it's very, very easy to remove it. Okay, so like I say, this is a Macro cardstock. It's a great quality cardstock. And then I try to do my best, but I still is not perfect. Sometimes it happen, right? So there's two ways to fix. If it's not too much, you can just use a pair of scissors, just trimming it. Or you can use your magic marshal, just dipping a little bit orange. I found the orange is the very good color to just soften the edges. Okay, so before we are assembling together, I am going to just find one black color. So you can use a memento too, just one color. Rub your stamp, okay? Rub, and tap, tap. And then I'm going to just put it right in the middle. Okay, that's a black and white image. I think even just a black and white, it actually looks pretty good. And we can combine with other stamp, make it look like it's nighttime. So, any way you like. Well, if you made a boo-boo, you're not happy, you can, in your kit, you must have maybe 1 or 2 die cut to be able to do that. Okay, so the next, I am going to just have 2 green. Any green you like. I'm going to just that little leaf. Same thing, if it's a new stamp, you never used it before, sanding the surface, you don't have to do this every single time. Okay, so just when you don't get a nice ink, you do that. So I'm going to just use the green. I'm going to stamp 1, 2, okay? Or watch this, 1, and then I don't re-ink my stamp. And then the second one is lighter. And then look, I create a fading. Rotate your paper. 1, 2, 3. 3 different tones. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So I think that's awesome. And I'm going to add a little bit darker green. Okay, so I'm going to get another one of the darker impact, and I'm just find some gap. Okay, you don't have to stamp like a whole image all the time, so kind of just okay, same thing. Wait. Okay, so this is only one stamp, but look what you can create. Okay, and then now we are going to mount our back. I'm going to put the piece foam tape, and don't forget to be awesome. Okay, I think it's black color is good too. Maybe you can do the brown. Ta-da! So that's our number 4 card, and let me take a look. So in the back of your sheet, this is the another one. So I just stamping on one of the background is called the Forest Life. Not sure what's the name. I have too many background, so I will put the name in the description. So if you're interested in this background, so just check it out. And I just trimming one. I lose the baby. I just put in the corner, and then this one is done with the digital. So you just download that PNG file and cut it, and then you can add some leaves there. Okay, so that's the number 4 card. What do you think, guys, so far? Having fun? Okay, let's move to the number 5. Number 5 will be these the patio chair with the wisteria. I just come back from Japan, and then I went to a city. It's the place famous. It's called Yame. And then I went. You know what? I'm going to put the video. Just insert this video. You guys can see. They have a beautiful wisteria. It's so pretty. And then I took some of the picture, but it was a raining day that day. There is one place, they are not completely blooming yet. 500 meter. They grow this wisteria like a eternal, but the time when I went there, it was too early. They didn't grow up. But here is a video. Take a look. It was a rainy day. It was so pretty. Okay, and then if you don't want to see that, you can just fast forward it. So I'm going to grab my wisteria stem. Okay, so let me just put this one back. I'm working on the new design. If there is any stem image you find is hard to find, and then send me an email. I maybe added to my next design. Actually, to this time when we had stamping away, one of the lady from Florida give me those pictures. I was definitely working on one image. Sorry, I didn't ask what's her name, but look, I know she mentioned the birds have something spoon. I will Google it, but I will definitely design a stamp. Maybe you will see in my next new design. You will have this bird. So that was a wonderful lady from Florida. She gave me all those papers. So all of those photos. So if you are interested in some stamp image and it's hard to find, you cannot find it, leave me a comment or send me an email. I will definitely put on my design list. It happened because I designed a jellyfish. It was by the customer request. Hey, we need a jellyfish and we need an octopus. So I did have it. Okay, so let's grab another card. So this is the wisteria. There is a patio chair. This patio chair is from our summer evening stamp set. I will put the link below. At this moment, our webshop or online store is doing a summer sale, 30% off the whole online store. So check it out. And so this is one of the set. It's called the summer evening. Okay, so I have my wisteria ready, and then again, before I need my new sprouts. Find it. Okay, I have my new sprouts impact here. There's a few very, very light color impact. I really like it. One is new sprouts. One is the desert sand, and the one is summer sky from the Memento. Those impact, the color is just so pretty and so light. You can do the things that I'm just about to do it. Okay, so the first things we are going to color our wisteria. And then if you never used this stamp before, like I say, just sanding the surface, they will helping this ink much better. Don't do this on your clear stamp because you will damage your stamp. Only the rubber stamp and only on the shadow stamp. I am only responsible for the local king rubber stamp. I don't know any other company's stamp. So please just do on the local king rubber stamp, okay? Okay, so we're going to do the coloring, and then like I say, the foundation color. I'm color the whole flowers with a lighter purple first. That will be this purple. So color lighter color. Okay, so once when you have your foundation color, and then you can do whatever you like. Look at how I color my purple. I just scribble on top. The design will do the job. Your job, just make sure you put the 2-3 different color on top. I'm going to even add a little bit magenta here and there. But The second color you are going to use less than the first color. The third color you are going to use less than the second color. So don't just try to keep covering everywhere with one color. That way, when you stamp, you get nothing. So on the stamp, you want to see light, you want to see medium, you want to see dark. Okay, so now I do my green. Remember, foundation color, you got to color everywhere. The second color, I just touch out a little bit here, a little bit here. Put a little bit between the flower. It's okay, before they turn to the flower, they were green. And then when you're done, color the second green, I always just scribble a little bit brown. When the brown and the green meet together, they become beautiful over green. And then the next, I always use black to kind of give a little bit dotting. Don't be afraid to put this black dotting on top, because when you put the black, they actually blending together directly on the rubber stamp. So when you stamp that, you don't have to stamp the whole image. I'm going to cut 1/3, not 1/3, 1/5 of the stamp image, give a nice firm press, and then that's what you get. Clean your stamp every time after you stamped it, and then we are going to color again. The paper I use is from Marco's coated cardstock. They have both coated and glossy coated. They are different with the photo paper. Not all the glossy paper you can stamping with water-based markers, but the paper they carry is good to use water-based markers. So I will put their website below. So if you like to purchase something, you can check it out. Okay, again, we just repeat the first step. Make sure you color everywhere. The green, okay. Of course, flower is the purple, leaves are green. Use your common sense, okay. So color a bit green, and then do not repeat your marker. Don't try to keep it repeat on the same spot. We just want the one thin layer of coloring. Okay, if you keep repeating on your stamp, you are going to block those fine detail line, and then you are not able to get a good image. They will bleed. Okay, the next step, I ink my stamp again, right? On my stamp, I can see a few different colors, and I'm lazy. So when I want to stamp a little bit here, a little bit here, so when I stamp, I kind of just leaning my weight on the left, okay? Cut a little bit. You can go up a little bit, or you can lower a little bit. So I'm going to just do, and I'm only leaning on my left. And then now I still have ink on my right. So there you go. Instead of do 2 times, I try to cheat. So try to save 5 calories by ink the stamp again. Okay, so now I am clean my stamp. You got to clean your stamp every time after you color. The ink is not enough to do one more ink. Okay, so let's use this new Sprouts. Is one of my favorite ink pack. The color is so light that you can stamp it directly on top. Look at the shadow. Okay, like I say, you do have to ink your stamp. So this is a very, very light green. You create the layering. So if you stamping, the color is darker than your flower, it will cover your flower. So make sure you use the lighter color than your image, you will be fine. Okay, so the next we are going to just do a patio chair or a pillow. This set is really cute set, and it looks like this. So take a look. I will put the link below. So my flower is a purplish color. So for my patio chair, I can do red and orange. Let's do the orange and the red. So that way the color is different, and then they will pop out better. So I am, like I say, I like to fast results. So I'm going to just use my magic mushroom color then. And this is summer event. They have the matching die cut. So which is perfect. You can die cut it and then you can color whatever you like, and then just die cut it, right? So I'm going to clean my table, and I'm going to grab a red color. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit red color. I'm lazy. I'm going to just use my magic mushroom. I don't even clean it. I am going to just do a little bit red color. That's how I color. If it's, you're not happy with the result, what you can do is you can use your markers to give a little bit touch up. So that will do. Okay, so my chair is red. I can use a yellow pillow, and then the pillow will pop out. So I'm going to just grab my pillow and going to grab my magic mushroom, and I'm going to just or you can do green, you can do blue, just try to use a different color, so that way. And then what I do is I holding my paper die cut, and then I just a brush around it. I like to leave a little bit white spot, and then I think that's pretty cool already. But what you can do, if you want to, you can add a little bit brown, just darken a little bit around the edges, and then see, I'm just gently brush it. Okay, look how pretty it is. Okay, so that's put my ink pack away. Okay, put my mushroom back to the holding base, so that way I don't have a mushroom running around my table. And then I'm going to mount my patio chair. And my pillow, and then if you have a little cat or dog, you can put on top. I think, isn't that pretty? So that's our card here. I didn't put stamping this thinking of you, because I think somebody maybe want to make a different kind of thing, so I didn't stamp this image, but that look pretty much like this. And then I can mount my cardstock, and that's our number 5 card. Okay, so this is Marco's code cardstock. If you are not sure what kind of paper you have to purchase, you just go to their website and use the search window, type local king, and then there is the link pop out, so you can choose Macco or Glossy code. So that's our number 5 card, and let's take a look. The number 5 card, see this wisteria. I use one of the background called the Chinese calligraphy. I use a magic mushroom to apply all multiple color, and I just stamp the black. See what's different. Okay, so let's move to our next card. Is this a capybara? Capybara is so cute. I haven't got a chance to see them in the real life, and then but they are just a very cute animal. I don't know, I don't think so we have a capybara in Canada. I mean the real life one. Have you seen the capybara in person? If you do, leave me a comment, let me know. Okay, so we're going to put our capybara stamp on the acrylic block, and then when you put your stamp on the acrylic block, try to make a parallel line. And then when you stamped it, you're going to guide it with your acrylic block, not with your stamp. So that way you don't get the crooked image. Okay, that's the kit of capybara. Okay, so this is the kit you got. So first we are going to stamping that. Well, we're going to leave it last, because so you get at least few of the die cut, and then this is one of the stamp set called the Party Time. They have all the like party stuff. So I just die cut it, and I create a stencil. So use a die cut. You can also use your die cut to create a stencil. So I am going to grab the yellow ink pack. So I'm going to pick up some ink with or magic mushroom, or you can use your blending brush. Anything work, that will work. So I'm going to just gently tapping it. Or magic mushroom is awesome because with one mushroom you can create too many different looking. So that's one. And then I'm going to put a little bit lower. And this time I'm going to, I don't ink my mushroom. I just gently use the ink I already have on the magic mushroom. If it's not enough, I'm going to just gently bouncing, just like a yoga ball. Okay, so that's my another balloon. So I'm going to just using the same stencil, or you can use the two color too. So I use this yellow. I'm going to just do more. So when you hit hard, it's darker color. When you release a little bit pressure, it's lighter. If you want to, you can even add a little bit darker orange on top of the yellow. Okay, why not? We're just overlapping a little bit here. Ta-da! And then this time do a little bit lighter. Okay, and then the string, it didn't really show. So what you can do is just grab a markers. Just a few of them. That's it. Okay, and then we are going to do the capybara. So I'm going to just use the black, which is my favorite ink. My stamp image is very, very detailed. So I found out this is the best ink to get that all detail. So remember, when you stamp, you're going to use the acrylic block, guiding with your acrylic block. So that way you don't get a crooked image. Okay, and then in your kit, there is a two balloon. So I am going to just use magic mushroom, same thing. Going to just hold the marker vertical and then just give it a little bit brush. Okay, you can do this with this spongy head. I think it will be a little bit challenge to use a brush, or if you don't have it, try to use those makeup wedges. Those makeup wedges, it will do the job, but just their life is not really long. Maybe it's good for 1 or 2 times use only. Okay, so I am going to just mount my balloon. Okay. So everybody's pouch is a slightly different. Some of you guys probably is a pink color. Okay. It's not easy to prepare like 100 workshop kit. So just sometimes I have to, maybe I round out the same color, I use different color. Okay, again, for the capybara, okay, you probably usually I will put a 1 or 2. So color, I am going to use a kind of brownish color. Memento is my favorite ink pad for the, and then this Versafine. So I'm going to just use this kind of like a peanut color. Okay, so same thing again, we just brush a little bit color, and then when you brush the color, okay, if you do a little bit softer, okay, focus on the edge of this die cut, okay, or you can slowly move a little bit more, so that way you are kind of shading a little bit in the middle. So with one magic mushroom, actually you are able to get this kind of look. Or like I say, if you are the like a Copic marker, watercolor marker, lover, you can always color like that. Okay, and then I'm going to just use this yellow. I have some color on top. I love this magic mushroom because they can blend in the color directly on top. They can build it up your image and fast, easy. Okay, so next, let me turn off my phone. Okay, next, I am going to use the little eyeshadow applicator. I'm going to give it a little bit red color around his nose area. I think that's so cute. And then what I can do is when you color, if you accidentally color a little bit too dark around his eyelid, you can use this chalk, kind of, or the gel pen to lighten the eye area, and then or you can even draw in few stroke. Okay, so that's put it on top. Okay. Okay, so that's, isn't that cute? And then the party hat is easy. So my background color is already orange yellow. I want my party hat really standing up. So I think probably I'm going to use green. So I'm going to use markers. I'm going to just color green. Okay, just color the green and a little bit darker green. Okay, and also you can use your magic mushroom, kind of darken the edge a little bit, give a little bit shadow. So, this mushroom, honestly, is a great tool if you know how to use it. I have created over 100, no kidding, over 100 video to share with my viewers how to use those magic mushrooms. So I come up with this idea just right after COVID, and then there's other company also have the similar product, but who is come out with all the video to share with you guys how to use it. Okay, so here I'm going to grab a white pen. I think his nostril is kind of too dark. I'm going to just give a little bit highlight. That's much better. A little bit around the eyelid. If you have been following my video, you probably already know me. I try to do my best to share with all my customers what I know. Okay, so that's our number 6 cardstock, and let's take a look at paper. The other one, this is another set I create. So what I did is I use a very, very light color background. It's called the fog. And then I just use a paper, create some kind of stencil, and apply some blue color on top. And I just cut a few of the circle, I think I draw the leaf. I make it look like a orange. And then that's another card. So same stamp, something totally different. That's what I like. I think both of my capybara is catch cold. They have a runny nose. That's their nose is a little bit red, but that's okay. Okay, so let's move on to the number 7. Number 7 is my hammerhead shark. So this is a card we're going to create, and then the same idea. I just use the ocean wave background. I just ink the center of the background, and I use my magic mushroom to soften this around it. So, and I put my shark in the center. So this card, okay, I'm going to do a quick demo, and if you like to know more about how to blending the circle, please watch this video. This video is the second workshop, and then in this video I cover more a little bit more how to use the magic mushroom. So I'm going to find my shark. Okay, so this is my shark, and usually when I prepare, I always have a 2 die cut, and then this is just a regular cardstock. It's a cougar white. So you can use a cougar white, and then you can also use the recollection from Michael's, but I found out the 110 pound, but I found a cougar white 100 pound, the surface is more smoother than the recollection, so it's easier to blend. So when you blending on top, I found out the ink is floating more smoother than on the recollection. So that's what's different. And then remember, in the beginning of the video, I was share this idea how to get stamp first, and then use this die cut to pick up the ink. So remember, put a little bit reprecision glue, and then put your acrylic block on top. Try to find the acrylic block is the same size, so and we pick up this die cut. Okay, so we are going to use our magic mushroom. I am going to just find the 2 blue. I really have to organize my drawer because my ink pack is like out of order, and I'm having a hard time to find it. So you can prepare 3 ink pack, light, medium, dark, or you can use 2. I think I probably just use 2. I'm going to use a magic mushroom, and make sure your magic mushroom, before you use it, they have to be moisture. Look, the size is really different. This is not ready to use. This is when you purchase it from when you purchase it, they are dry. When they are dry, they don't do the job. They have to be moisture. And then when they are moisture, they cannot be too wet. If they are too wet, they won't be able to pick up the ink. So please watch this video, and then it will explain you more detail. So I'm going to pick a little bit ink, and I'm not going to repeat what I already taught in the second video. I'm going to just go for it. So I holding my paper horizontal. I want to draw some circle directly on my stamp, and I just find out this way my drawing is more smoother than this way. Okay, so I'm going to start from my scrap paper. I'm going to just draw like a half circle. You always start from your scrapbooking. You don't start from top of your cardstock, because we want to hide that circle line. So I just draw a few strokes. Okay, not really smooth, that's okay. And then I'm going to clean the surface. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate my card. I'm going to ink my mushroom, and I'm going to start from that direction. Okay, I'm going to draw a circle or some strip. When you applied it, you're doing like a smile. So I just push hard, gently left over, gently pick it out. From the side is like this, like this. Okay, when you push hard and then slowly pick it up. Okay, slowly pick it out. When you push hard, it's darker color, and then when you slowly pick it out, they create this kind of fading stroke. So I like to keep some of the white strip. I just find out is pretty. Okay, so here is the one of the card from the second workshop, and then I'm going to use a little bit darker color, and I'm going to just use my purple magic mushroom. Usually I'm lazy, I just use the same one and just clean it later. Pick up some ink, and I'm going to find some place between, and I'm going to just add some stroke. There you go. Okay, so that's one way to do my background. So I think that's good enough. Or what you can do is maybe you want to start from this corner okay, or on this corner, or on this corner. Any corner you like, you get idea. Now we are going to stamp using our chalk. Okay, I'm going to stamp my chalk a few times. Okay, and then I'm going to use the one eyeshadow applicator to remove that nail it. Okay, and then I'm going to use that stamp just leaning on the left, and now I'm lazy, so I'm using the tail. Oops. Kind of using the stamp to build out my background. Okay, or what you can do is you can actually stamp one with nail it because we want some sentiment, right? And then again, I may be just stamping the tail, and I'm going to just stamp this corner, and then I am going to just stamping the head. There you go. That's good enough. Okay, and then I am going to ink my stamp, and then my acrylic block. And then remember, when I stamped it, I am using my acrylic block to guiding my position, so it will be pretty much line up, guiding with your acrylic block. Try to keep this 90 degree. That's your shop. Okay, so I'm going to just pick it out. Wait is completely dry, so you can see the ink. Okay, because I'm using the VersaFine. VersaFine doesn't really work well on the coated cardstock, so you probably can use a Memento, the dye-based impact. This Versamark is kind of like a pigment, because they are kind, like if you take a look at their reinker is kind of milky compared with the Memento. I think let me see, is this a pigment impact? Oh yes, the Versamark is actually pigment impact. So be careful when you use a pigment impact, because this paper is a coated cardstock. The pigment impact is like a milky, a little bit creamy. So the coated cardstock, they don't really absorb the pigment impact. So that's why they are not as smooth as supposed to be. So you can just use the Memento black impact. You won't have this problem. But on the cardstock, I use the pigment because I found out their coverage is just much better than the Memento. So I'm going to just put the piece of tissue, kind of clean the surface, blub out the extra ink. So, and then what you can do is before I stamp out, before I mount it, I'm using my magic mushroom just to give it a little bit very, very light color around it. Okay. There you go. So remember, use a Memento, don't use a Versamark, because if I kind of use my finger, I probably are able to pick up those ink. So Memento on the Glossy, and I should use it, when I cut it, I should just use a regular cardstock. And then you guys don't have to have this problem, right? Or just use a Memento black. Regular black. Okay, so in your kit, you have two fish, so there's another fish. You can use it if you want to. And then you also have a seaweed or coral. So this is easy, and I am going to just use my magic mushroom red color, kind of brushing a little bit color. You don't have to color the whole coral. Leave a little bit orange, so that way they are more interesting to have a multicolor, right? So that's good enough. No need to color everywhere. And then I'm going to just find the small foam tape, small tiny foam tape. very tiny. Oh, and the one more thing, if your background is still a little bit wet, you are going to have a problem to glue on top. So make sure your basic card is completely dry before you glue on top. See, my shark is not glued because my foundation is wet. But you guys get idea, right? I don't like this shark, so I'm going to redo it. But you get my idea. And then we have another piece of paper. I'm going to just mount on top, and then I'll probably recreate the shark, and then with a memento impact. But okay. Okay, so that's our number 7 card. So that's look like. Oh, this one I forgot to put the crow. And then here is another sample, and I just stamping on the different background. Okay, that's number 7. That's work on our final card. The final card is this giraffe. Okay, so the background is called the silence. I just stamped the silence 2 times, and then another sample I used the sky background. I think this is like this sky background is so pretty. Okay, so in your kit you have 1 circle, and then a blueprint with the silence, and then when you stamp, you can use a color background. See, this is just a card from the second workshop. The basic card is actually light blue like this. And then you create something totally different. So I use the yellow one, so that way I don't have to spend a lot of time to create that yellow. Okay, and then we use the reposition glue. We're going to just masking the sun, and then I'm going to grab a few of the impact. I'm going to need the orange and the red and purple maybe. Let's find the purple. Found it. So I'm gonna just use these 3 colors. Okay, so I am going to use the orange mushroom, and I'm going to pick up some ink. I want to create a very, very calm sky. And like I say, if you want to see more blending technique, watch this video. I'm talking about more blending technique. So I'm going to start from the 12 o'clock. I'm going to just draw a line all the way across my page. Okay, ink again, draw all the way. Oops, my sun is just moved. Okay, make sure you put enough glue or hold it with your finger when you do that. So we want to just do one direction. You can drag and cross the paper. Okay, so one direction. Don't do like this. Stop in the middle of your card. You are going to have a very, very ugly mark. Rotate your paper again. Start from the scrap paper or your table. Just draw all the way. Use the bottom of your magic mushroom so that way you get a very nice coverage. Okay, now I'm going to use the second color. We can switch to our red magic mushroom. Okay, pick up some color, holding your sun, and then try to overlapping some part. Okay, don't just use the whole mushroom, drag across your paper. So that way you just completely cover that orange. We want to see a beautiful sunset color. So what's the point? You just repeat the same spot. Okay, again, we're going to try to find the stroke in the between here and here. Going to just add something. Okay, you can just stop in the middle. Okay, rotate it. You don't have to go all the way through. Again, one direction is very, very important. Drag. Okay, just like that. I think that's really pretty already. If you want more, you can gently pick up a little color, hold in your circle, and then just gently slow from the center, and then slowly brushing a little bit color. To give it that shading, growing look. Okay, wait for a second before we move that circle masking. I am going to use a little bit darker pop color. I will use a purple. This time I'm using the side of my mushroom side. I'm going to just rolling a little bit color. When you use your mushroom, you always support your head. I forgot to do that, so my mushroom is almost break out. So always support the sponge head, and then I use the side, kind of just add a little bit darker stripe. Remember, the darker color you're going to use the last and last, okay? We always start from the light color, not enough, we add more. You don't want to start too dark and we won't be able to make it lighter. Okay, so now I'm going to remove my mask. That's my moon. If you find out this circle is too pop out, so what you're going to do is you are going to just use your orange magic mushroom, gently go around that circle, kind of just give a little bit shading like that. Okay, so the next we are going to, and you can keep your circle for the next. I'm going to stamping my giraffe. Okay, so okay, again, I am using my VersaFine. Okay, I'm going to gently tapping my background. Okay, you can cut off some part of your draft. It doesn't have to be whole thing. I'm going to maybe just do this corner a little bit low. Okay, it doesn't have to stamp the whole image, right? And then now I'm going to grab my die cut. Okay, again, how to coloring. So I am going to use a draft color, which is yellow. I was just using the yellow. Okay, so we're going to use yellow, and then we just gently tapping. Like I say, if you are the like a markers lover, watercolor marker, this is great for coloring, but I am just like the fast result. I give it a very, very like a basic foundation color. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit brown. I can change my mushroom because maybe I want my white, my yellow mushroom stay a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to just brush a little bit brown color. Isn't this awesome tool? This blending tool is great for the stencil. I don't think so you can use a brush to create this kind of looking. So this sponge is really, really does the job. Okay, that's how I coloring. Again, I am going to use this one was dirty. I'm going to use this applicator just give a little bit, not too much, just a little bit red. And then mount on top. I think that's really pretty. My paper is still a little bit wet, but I'm going to mount it first. Okay, and then wait for your foundation color. Make sure they are completely dry, because when they are wet, you won't be able to, the tape will not be able to stay. Okay, and then for this extra spot, we can just trim it off. So let me just draw. You can trim it off first, or you can put his butt here. No, just joking. Okay, so that's our number 8 card. So let's take a look. So the other one is the same technique, but I use the sky background. And then just want to show a quick look. So this is the second workshop. If you haven't got a chance to check it out. I think it's really pretty. It's just use a little bit multicolor to create this looking. So that's all the 8 cards I recreate for our third workshop. I taught last weekend the stamping away. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and make sure you subscribe to Local Kings YouTube channel for the next coming workshop. I am designing a new stamp set just like this set. And then once when you're ready, I will offer the online workshop. And I think that's pretty much about it. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this workshop, anything that I can do better to better. So leave me a comment, and then let me know if there is any stamp you are looking for and hard to find on the market, and just send me a comment, let me know, and I'm probably working on put on my design list, and you maybe see that stamp coming out pretty soon. So I hope you like this workshop, and thank you so much for watching until the end. This is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. See you next time. Bye guys.